Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of High Energy Girl. And today's adorable guest is Brittany Fuisz from Malibu Milk, flaxseed milk. I cannot wait to try it. And we had a great conversation about all things good. So let's go and say hello to Brittany. Hey everyone, welcome to High Energy Girl, a podcast helping women to age stronger because it is never too late to get fit, be strong, and feel sexy. I'm your host, Tracy Gluhide, health coach and personal trainer and founder of highenergygirl.com. Each week, we will either have a guest interview, which will provide you encouragement or an actionable tip to help you age stronger, or I will do a solo episode. Please also join our awesome Facebook group called High Energy Girls, and I'm looking forward to see you on the inside of that group and hope you enjoy today's show. Give a woman a fish, feed her for a day. Teach a woman to fish, feed her for a lifetime. Teach a woman to fish, end world hunger. Have you ever wanted to help people improve their health journey? Have you thought about coaching people with a keto lifestyle? Would you like to become an integrative health coach? Well, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, or IIN as we call it, is the largest nutrition school in the country. And in 2011, I graduated from their program and became a health coach. It was completely awesome. We learned over 100 different dietary theories and talk about craziness and confusion. My wish for you is that we can lock arms and create a tribe of health coaches all around the country, all around the world to spread the keto message. If this resonates with you and you would like to look into this option deeper, please go to my blog at highenergygirl.com and click on the link to the right of the homepage. Here you can grab the curriculum guide and see if it inspires you. Since I care so much about my listeners, I negotiated the very best tuition rate for you at IIN. Either you can contact them directly and give them my name, or I will introduce you to a counselor so you can decide if this is a good fit for you and your career goals. Let me know how I can support you in this coaching career opportunity. Hey, Brittany, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Hi, I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited to hear your story. So for the listeners that don't know you yet, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so Brittany Fuisz, I'm the founder of Malibu Milk. Malibu Milk is an organic flax milk company. So we make vegan, plant-based milk, and it is the tastiest, most nutritious, and most sustainable milk on the planet, period. I am a working mom. I have a son who's going on 21 months. I am pregnant with a little girl. I'm doing 6 weeks. So it's the home run here. And let's see what else. I grew up in Malibu, but I was born in Ohio. So I like to say that I have nice Midwestern roots, and I am trying to keep it all together, like I think most everybody else.
Yeah. So you're in Malibu now?
I don't. I live on the west side now, but not in Malibu. It's a little too far for us. Yeah.
West LA?
No, I'm near, I'm in the Palisades.
Oh, okay. Okay. My middle son lives in West LA, kind of near Santa Monica.
Okay. Very close.
So,
sure.
Yeah. So what brought you to coming up with the flax milk?
So it actually did connect to my journey to becoming pregnant. I was trying to get pregnant, and like many other couples, we had some trouble conceiving. And so I went to see a fertility doctor, and she recommended that I try a really specific diet called an Autoimmune Protocol. And I had to eliminate all major allergens. So dairy, nuts, gluten, soy. You can imagine that when you've eliminated dairy, nuts, and soy, you've wiped out the entire milk aisle, both conventional cow's milk and plant-based milks, because most of those plant-based milks are made from nuts and soy. And so at the time, I went looking for like a really healthy alternative. Like when you're trying to get pregnant and you're being told to look at what you're eating, you become hyper aware of ingredients and what you're consuming. And so as I looked into the few options in the market that were allergen-free, there's a pea milk, there's some oat milks, I realized that most of these milks aren't nutritious at all. So take oat milk, for example. Most of them have rapeseed oil as the second ingredient, which is canola oil, very inflammatory. They're loaded with sugar. They say that there's a really interesting article that says that gram for gram, the sugar in oat milk has a higher impact on your blood sugar than the sugar in Coca-Cola. And I don't know about you, but like, I don't want to be having Coca-Cola, with my morning latte every morning. So, and then I looked at pea milk, right? There's pea milk. Second ingredient in pea milk is cane sugar. Not something I want to be consuming a lot of when I'm trying to get pregnant. So I was driving in the car one day and I kind of had this aha moment. And I thought, what if I make milk from flaxseed? I've always loved flaxseed. I would add it to smoothies or cereal or, just constantly looking for ways to get fiber and omega-3s into my diet. So I went home that day. I took out my blender and I started playing with a few really simple ingredients. And I was getting this incredibly creamy milk because flaxseed is a natural emulsifier. So that's when I realized like, wow, like maybe this could be a thing. And I did the research that I felt I could do. I made a survey monkey for free and I sent it out to everyone I knew. And I wanted to understand if like everybody that I knew was happy with the plant-based milk options or if there was some room in the market for something new. And I realized that there definitely was room, especially for something nutritious and tasty and sustainable. And so at that point, I reached out to Whole Foods and said, hey, I have this new product. I want to show it to you. And I had no background in food, beverage, consumer packaged goods, no knowledge of the space, but I figured it would take months to get this meeting and I'd kind of figure everything out, while I was meeting, that it would be like the perfect thing to force me to figure everything out. Which it did, but the meeting happened to be a week and a half later. She replied and said, yeah, come on in a week and a half. And I panicked and did a crash course in consumer packaged goods and beverage and took the meeting with little samples from my kitchen. And that's how the journey of Malibu milk began.
Wow, that is awesome. And how long ago was that?
That was just over, let me think about this for a second. That was just over 2 years ago. No, 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago. Yeah.
Wow, that is awesome. So I love flax. I have it every day.
Great.
So tell me about, I'm sure you can't say how you make it, but tell me about like, how did you even think that flax could produce milk? And did you ever try coconut milk? Because that's the one that I've been using.
So coconut is considered a nut allergen. So that was the problem with coconut. It's different kind of nut, but it is still technically considered a nut. And luckily for me, I am past the point of this allergen elimination in my life. So I had soup for lunch that had coconut milk in it. I love coconut milk. But coconut milk can be really fatty. It doesn't have to be. You can get the unsweetened. It's just not bringing a lot of other things to the table. When you look at the whole ground organic flaxseed, we're using the whole ground seed. So like when you make almond milk, you blend almonds with water, you strain all the almonds out. You're losing all of the beautiful nutrients, protein, et cetera, in those almonds. You're throwing them away essentially. So when I make Malibu milk, we ground organic flax seeds, we blend it with water. We don't strain anything out. So you have fiber, omega-3s, protein, cancer-fighting lignins in every single glass. And the flaxseed is this like ancient superfood that's known for reducing cholesterol, improved skin and hair health, weight loss, improved digestion. The list goes on and on. Coconuts aren't doing that. Very few things on earth are doing that. Maybe if you had a blueberry milk, you might get some, antioxidants, but generally, I wanted something that was going to be really nutrient rich. And especially for this time in my life when like I was trying to create new life, and now it's great because I'm pregnant again and my son drinks it. And, we have all of these biohackers who are really into extreme health and wellness, and they love this product because it's one of the cleanest products on the market, bar none.
Oh, I've got to try it because I love flax. And here's something I don't know, you didn't mention in your list of benefits, but did you know that flax mops up excess estrogen, like the phytoestrogens that we're exposed to from scented candles and cleaning products and, any type of skincare that's not clean. So that flax does that.
Wow. No, I wasn't aware of that. Actually, that's so interesting. But that's the thing, like the list just goes on. And I feel like I'm constantly, I've been doing this for years now, and I'm constantly finding out more benefits of flax. Like it does just seem to go on and on. And we are, for your listeners, we're going to do High Energy Girl. That's the code. So if they go to our website, malibumilk.com, we ship all over the country. And if you enter High Energy Girl, you'll get 20% off your first order. And it ships straight to your front door. They're shelf-stable cartons, so you only have to refrigerate them after you open them. But they taste best cold, so stick them in the fridge before you're going to have it. And you can get it, anywhere in the country now.
Wow. I wonder, do they have it at Rayleigh's? Do you know?
Oh my God, where is Rayleigh's?
We have Nob Hill. I live in Northern California in the Bay Area, and we have a store called Nob Hill that's owned by Rayleigh's, and that's where I shop.
We're working on Rayleigh's. We're not in Rayleigh's yet, but we want to be. And I'm like, why is that so familiar? Because we just pitched them. That's why. But we are in Northern California, and we're in a ton of stores up there. We're in Lunardi's, Draggers, Molly Stone's, Berkeley Bowl, Rainbow Acres.
Berkeley Bowl. That's a great store. My son went to Berkeley. My oldest went to Berkeley. So you know what else I'm thinking that would be really cool is to make golden milk with it.
Oh, yes. I have made golden milk with it, and it's delicious. I love turmeric. And the other thing about flax is it's anti-inflammatory. And so with golden, you're getting the anti-inflammatory turmeric and the flax. So it's like the double whammy.
Yeah, that would be great. I make my golden milk with turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, clove.
Oh, it's the best, isn't it? So healing.
Oh my gosh, I'm
warming.
I do all my shakes with that. Ooh. When I make a protein shake, I use golden milk.
Ooh, I'm going to write that down. I'm going to make a golden milkshake this week. What a fantastic idea. I love that. Because the reason, so I don't usually have shakes in the winter because I just don't like being cold. Like I'm somebody who I tend to get with my feet are cold. And so when it's cold in the morning, I kind of want something warm. I want like oatmeal or eggs but it's hard to there's not that many warm, healthy things that you can have. So I get tired of the same old things and I miss my smoothies. But I feel like if you're using all these warming spices in the smoothie, it wouldn't be as chilling.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds
and
good.
You don't necessarily have to have it in the morning. I mean, I do smoothies a lot in the midday.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just am a big fan of flax, and that just gave me the idea because I usually make that with coconut milk, but I would rather have flax milk because then you're getting more bang for your buck.
Exactly.
I just didn't know it existed until I found out about you.
And that's the thing, a lot of people don't know that we exist because we're still a small company and, spreading the word. And that's why I'm here on these podcasts, trying to, let people know, because it is it's such an obvious choice, right? For someone who's using flaxseed and buying other milk. Well, now you don't need to buy your flaxseed. Your flaxseed is in the milk.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So tell me, with your journey, so going on the AIP protocol, did it affect you getting pregnant? How did it change your body and your life?
This is such a great question. And it's a question that very few people ask, given my story. It did affect me, the AIP protocol. It can't not affect you. It's such a drastic change when you go from, I went to culinary school. I love all things food and beverage. I believe in all things in moderation. I'm not a vegan, even though my milk is vegan. So yeah, when I eliminated all of these things, I got really lean, like crazy lean. Cause I'm also, when a doctor like tells me, hey, you have to do this, like I go full, 150%, right? Like there was not a gluten or dairy in sight. So you can imagine like doing this, you get lean, right? And I'm still exercising. And problem is when you're trying to get pregnant, you don't really want to get more lean. You want to get more, you want to kind of fatten up essentially. Like that's what's better for the body, because the body needs extra fat to carry a baby. So I ended up going to another doctor and he was like, listen, like you just need to go eat pizza is what you need to do. Because I just needed, at that point, like I had gotten lean and I felt, by the way, I felt incredible. Like on the AIP protocol, you feel lean. And like, I've never been somebody who carries muscle easily. Like it's really hard for me to get muscle in my arms, or, like, I don't know, my body just doesn't like pick it up easily, I guess. Even when I was playing volleyball in high school, like I had no muscle in my arms. So when I did the AIP protocol though, like all of a sudden I got to get a little definition in my arms because there's just like all the fat is going away. So you're just so lean. So I felt great and I was super lean, but again, it wasn't ideal for becoming pregnant. So the AIP protocol did not solve the pregnancy dilemma for me. But I think it helped me. I mean, it led me down this incredible path of starting this company. And I became more educated than ever before on nutrition and health and wellness, and listening to your own body, right? And realizing that like, okay, what does my body really need to get pregnant? And, examining that and listening to my own kind of inner voice, and taking the steps necessary for us, because the IP protocol was not the answer.
So what'd you do? Do you mind sharing all this? I mean, I love babies and
I'm happy to share it. I've actually like never shared it publicly, but I will share it. We ended up doing IVF and it's 2022 and I think a lot of people have done it now. And maybe I would have gotten pregnant on my own if I had like given it more time and put on a little more of that fat which I did try to do, by the way. I put on 10 pounds, 15 pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're a small person, it does. But the problem is if your cycles have been irregular for a long time, and then all of a sudden, like you're putting on this weight, like they don't just come back regular overnight. So my cycles were so irregular that it was this moving target. There was no way to know when was the right time to try. So I actually ended up just freezing my eggs because I was starting this business and I didn't want to deal with the stress of it anymore. And I was like, I'm going to freeze my eggs and I'm going to forget about it. And I'm not going to think about this for a little while. And then I decided like 6 months later that like, okay, actually, like I'd like to try to get pregnant again. And I remember I went to see my gynecologist and I said to her, like, I'm ready to try to get pregnant again. And again, I had put on all this weight so that I could try naturally to get pregnant. And she said, well, didn't you freeze your eggs? And I said, yeah. And she said, you need to use your eggs. Like those have been genetically tested. Why on earth would you go through that whole process and not use these eggs that have, and I was, I want to do it naturally. I had this like fantasy about conceiving somewhere romantic in a romantic way. And she basically convinced me otherwise. And I have a ton of friends who've gotten to almost halfway in their pregnancy and have had to make really challenging decisions. So I decided like, yeah, I already had gone through the process of freezing my eggs and I might as well go forward with that.
Sure. Yeah. And, so then you got pregnant and you have a little boy and then you got pregnant again.
Yes.
Did it happen as a surprise?
No.
We did
IVF again. I was breastfeeding, like I wanted to breastfeed my son for a year. And so at a year I stopped so that I could get pregnant again. But I knew that like, I'm going to be 36 in 3 weeks. I don't feel like I have the luxury of, we might want to have several children. I don't know how many. We'll see how it feels with number 2, but I'd love the opportunity to have 3, 4 if I would like. And so I kind of felt like I need to move now. I can't wait a year or 2 years to see if I get pregnant again if we want to have more kids. So I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'd be able to get pregnant naturally. I don't know that I'll ever know,
I've just heard stories, like somebody I know personally had IVF, they had triplets, and then less than a year later, they had, oops, and they were blessed with another baby girl. And it was like, wow.
Wow, that's crazy.
4 kids in diapers. Can you imagine?
No, I cannot. I literally cannot imagine that. And I don't think that will be our reality, just based on, again, my strange cycle. Like it's just abnormal. And like, you have to be like, after I had my son, I never even got it back. I never, like, you have to get your period back. And when you're breastfeeding, it can take a long time. Mine never came back. So in order to get pregnant, you need a cycle, and mine never came back.
No, you don't, because I had the same story. I was breastfeeding number 1 and boom, I got pregnant with number 2 without getting my period back. Yeah.
No. While you were still breastfeeding.
Yeah. They're 17 months apart.
And you were fully breastfeeding, like all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. Oh my God. So it can happen.
It can happen.
17 months apart.
And I had no idea I was pregnant. I had no idea. I wasn't trying. And I just thought I was tired.
And I thought, like, breastfeeding, I kind of figure you can't, that it's very rare. But apparently it's not as rare as you think.
Yeah. One of my best friends found out she was pregnant with number 2, and I was totally making fun of her. Little did I know I was a week behind her.
Oh my God.
So, I know.
Has it been wonderful having them 17 months apart though?
Yeah, I have 3 kids. They're all boys, and they're each, from oldest to youngest, it's 3 years and 1 month.
Wow.
So yeah, it's good. I mean,
were you able to keep breastfeeding even though you became pregnant?
My doctor told me not to.
I wondered. Yeah, because it really depletes you, the breastfeeding. So when your body's trying to build a baby and you're nursing a baby, I can't imagine the body being able to do either well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And so she said, you got to stop. And it was 9 months. So when I found out, so I was like, okay, well, I did the best I could, And
then the second time, did the same thing happen?
No, he stopped wanting to nurse. I think he was about 8 months.
Okay.
And then, gosh, it's so long ago. My youngest is 25.
Okay.
So I can't remember exactly, but yeah, so maybe I had 1 period, but I just got pregnant really easy.
You're very
for some reason. So
yeah.
Yes, but I was younger. I mean, I was 28, 29.
Yeah.
So when I had my kids.
30 when we started trying. 30, 31. So I wasn't, and then we tried for a while, and then I paused, and then when we finally decided we were ready again, I was 33. I mean, it took years, because IVF isn't something you want to jump into, right? Like I tried the AIP protocol, and like, that wasn't the answer. Like, it actually took me further in the opposite direction. But
it might have helped with decreasing inflammation that could have been blocking.
Yes.
Like
you wanted me to do it.
PCOS, you've heard of that, right?
Yes. And I don't have that, but I know exactly what it is. And it could be something that I, could have had because of my irregular cycles, but it's not what I had.
Yeah, there's different forms of it, I think. But my point of saying this is that it is something that contributes to infertility, at least as far as I know. Yeah. And decreased inflammation helps a lot with that. So have you gone back to cheese or any other dairy, or are you still off of it?
Yeah, I eat everything.
You eat everything?
Yeah.
So one thing I've noticed is not all dairy is created equal, as I'm sure you know.
Right.
But European products don't have all the hormones and crap that they're allowed to have in America.
No, yes.
So I only eat European cheese. I do not eat American cheese ever.
Wow. I love that. I always feel so much better when I'm in Europe, and you're eating everything when you're there, ice cream, bread, blah, blah, and you somehow feel, and it's the ingredients. And one of the main things, so I talked about oat milk and oats and sugar, but one of the bigger problems with oats is glyphosate, which is otherwise known as weed killer, Roundup. It's all over oat crops in this country. It's all over wheat in this country. And it's a real problem. And, I am neurotic about buying organic, glyphosate-free oats. I am very careful about buying, I don't usually do gluten in the home, mostly because of glyphosate. But if we are going to do gluten, it'll be like organic from Italy, because you don't want to have glyphosate. Roundup is carcinogenic, it kills weeds. What do you think it's going to do to the human body? And, if you're having it it's all over breakfast cereals. And if you're having it in your oat milk and then on your breakfast cereal, think about the amount of glyphosate that you're consuming. So it's incredibly toxic. And again, it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's talk about that. So it's my understanding that genetically modified things, let's say wheat, which is corn, wheat, and soy, are the most popular genetically modified, or the most common. Now, do you know that if this is true or not, that the glyphosate is actually built into the seed, which is why it works?
If it's coming from seeds that have been sprayed with glyphosate for decades now, then yeah, you know what I mean? If the crops were sprayed and then their seeds, the seeds of those sprayed crops are what's used to harvest, yes, they become a part of the it's horrible.
But I think it's more than that. I think that they actually create these new seeds, these genetically modified seeds, so that they're automatically resistant to, I could be wrong. I don't know. I just didn't know if you knew, but I do feel like it's built into a GMO food.
I don't know that I don't know about that. I know they are genetically modifying ingredients so that they harvest better, make prettier crops, but I don't know specifically about the seeds for wheat and oats and what's happening there. I just know that the spray that's going on them is incredibly problematic. We actually have a Flax Oat Milk at Malibu Milk. So I went searching for an organic glyphosate-free oat supplier. I couldn't find one. I found somebody who was doing glyphosate-free oats, and I asked them to get their organic certification in order to work with us, and they did. And so we have an organic, glyphosate-free, unsweetened oat milk that's only 45 calories a glass, no sugar. So compared to no oil, compared to all these other oat milks on the market, a much cleaner choice. And we're blending it with flax. So you get a little bit of fiber, a little bit of omega-3s, and a little bit of protein.
Why would somebody choose that product over the pure flax?
Because they are uncomfortable with just jumping into flax. It's kind of a gateway milk, I like to think. Most people have tried almond milk. Most people, I think, at this point have tried oat milk. Not everybody's familiar with flax, and not everybody's comfortable with it yet. I think it tastes great, the flax. My favorite flavor right now of ours is the slightly sweetened. We use a little bit of organic date sugar, so it's refined sugar-free, but we're using a little bit of organic date sugar, and it gives it just this lovely, slightly sweet flavor. But yeah, if you're more comfortable, if you're already comfortable drinking oat, start out with the oat flax, see what you think about that. But in terms of where you're going to get where you're going to reap the most rewards in terms of nutrition, the flax. All day.
Yeah, I'm looking right here. I'm on your website, by the way. Wow, I'm get so excited when I hear about new things. I would do the unsweetened vanilla. How do you flavor it with vanilla? Is it real vanilla extract?
Oh, yes, it is. And I love that you knew to ask.
Well, not everybody knows that and it has prebiotics and Himalayan salt. Wow, girl, you did really, really good.
Thank you. It's funny. You'll probably appreciate this. So when like a year ago, we were actually using natural flavors instead of vanilla extract in our vanilla milk. And there's several reasons for that. But one of the biggest reasons is cost. I'm not going to lie. Natural flavors are way less expensive. Vanilla extract is super expensive. Vanilla costs more by the pound than sterling silver, if you can believe it. So it's a very high priced ingredient. And we were starting to get questions from like some of these biohacker individuals, like, why are you using natural flavors? What's in your natural flavors? We were using all organic, vegan natural flavors, but you don't need to put that on the label. Like, you put natural flavors on the label, and it also helps keep your formula proprietary. Nobody knows exactly what type of natural flavor you're using, so no one knows how to copy you. But as a mom and as this founder who created this business for the reason that I did, transparency is so important to me. And I feel like we're living in this world of misinformation by these big brands, and I didn't want to have any part of that. So we decided to eliminate the natural flavors and use vanilla extract. And it was an expensive choice. But I think it was the right one, because I don't want our consumers to have any doubts in anything that we're doing. And some brands will use natural flavors from animal sources and not really disclose it. And I didn't want there to be a single doubt. So we switched to vanilla extract, and from the beginning, we used Himalayan salt, which is my favorite salt. It's all that I use. So yeah, you'll see like super, super clean ingredients, great for the gut, and we want to make you feel your best. Like, we really do. I want products that you are comfortable giving your children, that you feel good about putting in your body all day long. I made a vegan mac and cheese with it yesterday. I made baked oats with my milk this morning. Like, we're having it every day in various forms. And so I want it to be good for us. And I'll notice, like, if my son doesn't have it for a couple of days for one reason or another, like, his digestion will change a little. Like, the flax is so great for your digestion and just keeping things on track.
I was just thinking, I make homemade yogurt.
Ooh,
okay. Wow. The author of the Wheat Belly books, he has this El Ruteri. It's a special yogurt. You ferment it for 36 hours. I make it with grass-fed half and half.
Wow.
But I would love to try it with your flax milk, because I don't love having dairy, but I tried it with coconut milk and it didn't turn out really good. So I would love to see if it works.
I have no idea if it will work for yogurt, but you let me know, because I'll be very curious.
Yeah, I just have to kind of compare the nutrition profile, because I'm wondering if you would need to have a little bit of the sugar. So maybe the slightly sweetened one. How many grams of sugar are in that? Do you know?
Yeah, 5 grams.
What does you know?
5 grams. Not very much.
Okay, 5 grams. Because when you're fermenting something, you need some sugar for the bacteria to consume.
Yep.
So maybe that would be
it's like kombucha. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm super proud of you. What is next? Any future projects besides a baby girl?
Yes, I can show you these. These are our newest products. So these are our matcha and coffee ready to drink lattes. These are really special. So these were created with the digestion at top of mind. My mother was often complaining to me that, like, she'd have her coffee in the morning to get her system going, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. And I was like, what you're really missing is fiber, right? Like, sure, coffee's a diuretic, but if you're having it every day and like your body's kind of used to it, coffee isn't necessarily like the answer. So I decided to create these 8-ounce cans that are with our flax and oat milk blend, and we use Japanese ceremonial grade matcha and organic coffee extract, and we load these with fiber. So 7 grams of fiber per serving. Let me tell you, they work. They are gentle and effective. They taste incredible, super creamy, no added sugar. If you go into a grocery store today and you pick up a ready to drink latte, coffee, matcha, whatever, you're probably looking at 150 calories, 20 to 30 grams of sugar. You're going to crash an hour later. You're not going to feel good. These only have 60 calories, again, no added sugar, a little bit of caffeine, and this fiber. So, you know, we all of our bodies need a little bit of help sometimes, like, you know, whether you're traveling or you're pregnant or, you know, whatever. Sometimes our digestion just needs help. And that's what this is for. And they taste so good that I'm getting notes that people are, you know, they're subscribing to these on our website and they just love them because, like I said, they work.
That is fabulous. I love it. So the matcha, is that a green tea?
Yes, green tea, exactly.
Okay. Because I just got a food sensitivity test and green tea came back as one of my superfoods.
As something you should have or should not have?
Superfood. Yeah.
There we go.
So,
yeah.
Okay. Well, girl, I am excited to try your products and I'm sure the listeners are too, because like, let's face it. I mean, my thing is my stomach can only hold so much and I need to get all this nutrition because I'm 56. I'm not getting any younger. And in order for me to age in health, I need micronutrients.
Yep.
And gut health is at the top of the list. So your product has all of it.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, yeah, everything stems from the gut, right? So if you can start there, and that was really top of mind when we created the product. So yeah, I hope that you try it and love it. And like I said, code High Energy Girl for 20% off your first order. And everything can be shipped right to your front door. We're also on Amazon, but it'll usually come, you know, I would recommend ordering on our website if you can.
Yeah, for sure. And I tell that to everybody because Amazon, I know, takes a large percentage of all the sales. And I do believe that our world is changing right now and we are going back to small business, to supporting small business.
I hope
so. Yeah, I think that the big businesses have been so corrupt in our past that people are going to be realizing it now and they're going to want to support the small businessman, or woman rather. Yes. But yeah, both. So good for you. And how can people find you?
My email is Brittany at malibumilk.com. Feel free to reach out. We're also on social media. So Malibu Milk, and it's milk with a Y, MYLK. We're on Instagram. We are on Twitter. We are on TikTok. We're just leaning into TikTok and having some fun with that. So yeah, please reach out.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you. You are what an entrepreneur you are. It's so impressive. And I think you've done a really good thing and you filled a gap that people didn't even know that was missing. So good for you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. For complete show notes, head on over to highenergygirl.com/show. And be sure that if you order the Malibu milk, you enter the code HIGHENERGYGIRL for 20% off. If you haven't done so already, please head on over to iTunes, leave us a rating and review so more people can find the show and learn from these amazing guests. All right, you guys, go out and make it a great day. This podcast contains the opinion and thoughts of its host and guests. It is intended to provide helpful and informative material on the subjects covered. All statements made on the podcast have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. If the listener requires professional assistance or advice, please contact your personal medical doctor. Both host and guest specifically disclaim any responsibility for any liability, loss, or risk personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence directly or indirectly of the use and application of any of the contents of these episodes. Like I said, this is my opinion and I could be wrong.